Hi, my name is Robert. This video is designed to give you step-by-step detailed instructions on completing the task at hand. Please read the comments in the About section of this video. It has valuable information and updates. My YouTube channel has a disclaimer video that I encourage you to watch. And please like, share, and subscribe. I hope you found what you're looking for. Thank you very much for watching. In this video, I'm going to replace the orifice that's in one of these pressure lines in this Volvo 850, probably early S and V70s, well, all these P80 cars. This orifice is in a lot of car systems. It's kind of like a filter in the line to catch debris in the event that something fails in the system, like your compressor. So unless you've had a compressor fail with internal failures to send debris through the lines, this thing should be clean. Another way they get clogged up is if you're servicing the AC system with stop leak agents in there. I was told when people use stop leak agents and then they open the system to atmospheric air, that stop leak agent starts gumming up and clogging up things in the system, and this thing is prone to be clogged up by that stop leak agent. So they say it's really not good to service your AC system in your car with this stop leak stuff unless you're just about done with that car and the next real trip to that car will be to the salvage yard. So people are telling me avoid putting that stop leak stuff in your car. Most of your self-service things that people do out of these department stores, these cans they buy and recharge the system with, 90% of them have the stop leak chemicals and agents in there. So try to find the ones that does not have that in there if you plan on keeping this car a long time, because you get that stuff in your system, clogs up your system. Now you got more problems than you had when you just had a little leak or something. So anyway, that's why you want to get at this orifice tube. So my thoughts is, if you break open the system to replace a compressor or dryer or something like that, you may want to replace this thing anyway. It's a $3-4 part, but it is kind of a pain in the butt to get to. Or just don't replace it. There's a good chance that unless you've had a compressor failure or it's got some of that stop leak agent in there, it's clear. After 480,000 plus miles, mine was still clear. Now the guy at the shop thought mine may have been replaced at one time, but I've had the car since 188 and it hadn't been replaced since I had it. So it at least got 300,000 miles on it. So that's where I'm at. I hope you learned something from today's video. This little orifice that goes in the line of the AC system, I think mine's is plugged, probably just over time and servicing it over time with different stuff. Now the last 3 or 4 years, this car has only been serviced by professionals, but that doesn't mean they haven't pumped any leak detection or sealer or anything in the system. And that thing plugs up this little orifice. If you have a system that you're getting ready to crack open for some reason, change the condenser, change the compressor, change something, evaporator or something in the system that requires you to break it open, and this hasn't been changed in 10 years, go ahead and replace them. Now these dryers are getting hard to find, so you really want to make sure you can get one before you break that system open and change it if you can. I've even seen some of these dryers with holes in them from just rusting or just getting old, and that thing there plugs up, especially if you have a compressor failure. When a compressor fails, it may discharge things through the system, and that little orifice has screen filter in there. It'll catch whatever's in this system and plug the system up. So you do want to change that, especially if you have a compressor failure. The part's only like $3 or $4, but you got to take the lines loose, and I'm going to show you how to get the lines loose to do that. So let's get started. First thing you want to do is take the vehicle and have the refrigerant drawn down. This system only has a low pressure port right here. They will have to draw it down from that low pressure port and I had mine drawn down yesterday. So it's already been evacuated. They made sure it held pressure, and you want to get that done before you go any further. Since you have vacuum on the system, likely you want to take a screwdriver or something, push on that valve stem and equalize the pressure, relieve the vacuum that's on the system so that there's no pressure or vacuum in the line. So let me grab a screwdriver and do that. Just like a tire gauge, it actually felt like it blew on me, so there was a little pressure built up in there from somewhere. Now that the pressure is stabilized, I'm gonna go ahead and unplug the high pressure switch, and I'm going to get down there and undo this bolt here to take this loose. Then I'm going to undo this bolt here, this 10 millimeter here. I think this is a T40. It might be a 6 millimeter hex. Take this 10 millimeter loose so this stuff can move around a little bit. I moved my OBD1 port aside. I relieved the pressure. Now I got an extension and the T40. I'm gonna try to put that on there. I got a 6-inch extension. I'm gonna put another 3-inch extension on there so I can break that loose. I took this top bolt out. That's a T40. Looking to get the one under there loose. All the way down here, it's a T40, and mine seems rusted. I don't know if I'm gonna get it out or not, so I'm gonna get a extra long bit because it's at a bad angle. Try to get that out. This is the line that breaks the system open, so let me see if I get that one down there further. That screw is so tight I can't get it out. It may strip, I don't know, but you know, that's not holding the frame of the car together. I have no idea why somebody would make that screw down there so tight. Anyway, I'm gonna get the computer box out of the way. So I'm gonna disconnect the negative from the battery, get it out of the way. I pulled the top off this ECU box, ECM box. I'm gonna go ahead and remove the computers in this box. Let me get that battery disconnected real quick. At the battery disconnected, come over here. This should be a 10 millimeter right here. And then you got clips down here like the top had. Undo those clips. There's 3 of them. One on the front, one on the back, one on the side. Lift this up out of the way after I pull the computers. If your car is an automatic, it has 2 computers. If it's a 93, 94, it may have 3 computers. It is a 10 millimeter. It has a little shoulder on it. Let me go ahead and lift this up out of the way. I had to lift the coolant bottle up out of the way to get this one on the back side out. I'm also going to remove this little vent thing here when I get that out, but let me get that clip loose, lift this up out of the way. And I got to pull this, so this will come loose. If that ECU box out of the way, I can get all the leverage I want using these as a cheater. Get that on there and try to break that nut loose down there. T40, probably a 6 millimeter. I got the screw broke loose and it is turning. Man, that thing made a racket when it came loose. The screw, it's all the way out. Looks nasty, but it looks like it may be the same size that goes in the door check straps. So I may have one to replace this one with, because I'd hate to have to put that back in there with all that rust on it. Spraying these screws and threads down with PB Blaster. Try to prevent them from breaking. I'm gonna try to get this off of here. Find this joint and this hose and take that loose. I see it back there. And get this orifice replaced. I grabbed this tube, pulled it toward the front of the car, wiggling it, and it came loose from that other end there. So now I can see the 2 nuts that secure this line together. That orifice tube is supposed to be in there. So I'm gonna see if I could get a wrench on there and break those loose. Looks like it's gonna be a tough. So let me see how I can get that to break loose. This stuff's been real tight. Look like the holding nut is a 19. Let me figure out what the other one is. It's bigger. Maybe a 22 or something. The back one's definitely a 19. I could take that thing loose here and maneuver it out of there, but I'm gonna try to leave it there. Let me see what this other one is. Maybe 22 or 21. This front nut is a 19. This back nut's a 22. So I couldn't get a bite on it. I had to take the timing belt covers off. So I took the front and the top timing belt cover off. Had enough room, broke that loose. Now I'm going to take that rest of the way apart, slide that out, pull that orifice out. I broke it loose. I thought it was hand tight, but it's not. Let me go ahead and finish taking this loose with this 22. It felt pretty loose, but not as loose as I thought it was. There it goes, party people. I did have to hold that 19 steady to turn that 22 off, and you can see the tip of that orifice tube in there. Let me get this line out of the way since I disconnected the other side of it, and let me use my needle nose pliers here to gently pull that out. Bill said be careful because you could break that thing in there. So let's see if this thing looks plugged up. Uh-oh. Taking a little bit of a pull to get it out. I don't think it screws in. Let me look at the new one, make sure it doesn't screw in. I don't see any threading, but I do see 2 hooks on the end. So I'm going to turn it 90 degrees and then try to pull it out. Alright, let's see here. Didn't seem like it wanted to turn clockwise. That thing doesn't seem to want to turn or come out. Let me ask my mechanic if I got to turn this thing to get it out or if I just need to pull harder. Okay, I pulled this thing straight out, and as you can see, it does not look plugged up. It's got a little bit of debris on it, but it's nothing like what I expected, so this is probably not my problem. So let me put the new one in and go ahead and put this thing back together. So there's my old one versus my new one. Let me go ahead and push this new one in till it locks in place. It even got an arrow on it telling you which way it goes in. And get this locked in place, get this line back together. Let me get this other line lined up. Wipe that dirt off of there. Put that in place, and maybe I'll get this thing serviced today. I held the back of this line up close to the headlight adjuster. I plugged it in, pulled the nut back, made sure it was plugged in. I held this line up with this hand and turned this in with my fingers. It's almost tight. I'm gonna go ahead and put the tools on it, tighten it up. 19 and the 22. It's easier to work with this line and get it tight if you take the other line and push it down off of the frame. So now, clean this dirt off. I can turn this over, set these lines back the way they're supposed to be, because this has to be tucked back over the other side. Get them set down. I didn't make sure that line was straight. Before I tightened this down, I should have made sure that this line was straight so that it will bolt back down to the frame of the car. So I need to break that loose just a little bit and twist it a little bit so that it'll sit down flat in there and not be twisted. So let me break that loose just a little bit, turn that line, and then tighten that back up. Before you put that last oomph of tightening on that, you may want to go ahead and put these 2 lines together. So make sure that's clean, your seals are clean, that's lined up. You put that bolt in there to get these together, and then try to make sure this is going to be flat on the frame before you tighten the last little turn. Now I'm looking for the bracket that goes back under here and locks these lines in place. That thing disappeared somewhere. I gotta find it. It's around here. And then I gotta take this thing, get it vacuumed and serviced. Got these bolts on. Everything's hooked up. I got 15 minutes to put the rest of this stuff back together, get up there, get this thing serviced. So I think everything's good. Let me put these timing belt covers on, plug that tube back in there, and get up there to the shop, get this serviced. If you feel that this information was useful, please like it and share it with your social media friends. You can subscribe to my channel so that you will get notifications of future videos that I post. You can follow me on Twitter, and if you need to contact me directly, please visit my website. And if you have any questions, leave them below, and someone or myself will reply to them. Again, thank you very much for watching.